Bienvenidos. We are going to continue studying the verb estar. Vamos a seguir estudiando el verbo estar. We use the verb estar to talk about where we are and how we are doing. Usamos el verbo estar para hablar de dónde estamos y cómo estamos. In the previous video, we focused mainly on using estar to talk about the locations of people, places, and things. In this video, we will focus on using estar to talk about how we are doing at the moment. We're talking about feelings, which of course are changing all the time from moment to moment. To say that I'm tired or busy or nervous or ready or happy or frustrated, to say these things doesn't tell you much about who I am as a person, because we all get that way. We all get tired and busy and nervous, ready, happy, frustrated at times. To express these feelings, we use estar. But not only feelings, also our temporary position or condition. I'm seated on the couch. Repita, yo estoy sentado en el sofá. Being seated has nothing to do with our feelings. It's just the position that I'm in at the moment, so I express that posture with estar. In this statement, the subject, yo, is spoken first, and then the correct form of estar, which in this case is estoy, because I'm talking about myself. And then comes the adjective sentado, which simply means seated. In the previous video, we didn't use any adjectives because we weren't describing anything or anyone. We were only talking about where people and objects were located. So if we're going to describe people and objects, we need to learn some adjectives. Let's first look at the adjective ready, which is listo or lista. Would you say that you are listo or lista? Well, it depends on whether you're male or female. That's essentially the difference. A male would say that he is listo, and a female would say that she is lista, which brings us to an important concept in the Spanish language, that all adjectives are going to be in agreement with the person or the things they are describing. And when I say in agreement, I mean, for example, that a male or a boy or a masculine object such as a car, un coche, would be described with the masculine form of the adjective. Okay, and whereas a woman or any female, young or old, or any female object like a house, una casa, would be described with the feminine form of the adjective. So there's two ways to say it there. And if that isn't challenging enough for you, consider that these adjectives must agree with the subject not only in gender but also in number. It's got to be singular or plural, depending on whether or not the subject is singular or plural. So therefore, for example, the guy is ready. El hombre está listo. The guys are ready. Los hombres están listos. We're talking about more than one guy, so every single word in this last sentence is plural. Los hombres están listos. The women are ready. Las mujeres están listas. So we're coming to terms here with the challenging fact that for each adjective in Spanish there are 4 ways of saying it. For listo, it was listo, lista, listos, listas. Alright, so it is very complex, it is challenging. I don't mention that to discourage you. It most certainly is complex, but with more exposure and practice and familiarity with the language, not to mention continuing to view these videos, using these adjectives correctly will be as natural to you as anything else that you say. Saying it right will sound right. Saying it wrong by mistake will sound wrong to you. So be encouraged. I greatly admire you and all of my students for seriously undertaking to learn another language. It's very commendable. The door is open. Repita, la puerta está abierta. La puerta está abierta. The doors are open. Repita, las puertas están abiertas. Las puertas están abiertas. The windows are open. Repita, las ventanas están abiertas. Las ventanas están abiertas. All of the windows are open. Repita, todas las ventanas están abiertas. Todas las ventanas están abiertas. All of the books are open. Todos los libros están abiertos. Todos los libros están abiertos. Notice that the books, los libros, are masculine, and so is the word abiertos. All right, abiertos. So it's all masculine and plural. Even the word todos, which means every or all, is also ending in os or os because it's agreeing with the books. So technically you have two adjectives in that last sentence. The windows are dirty. Repita, las ventanas están sucias. Las ventanas están sucias. The dogs are dirty. Los perros están sucios. How would you say that all of the dogs are dirty? Todos los perros están sucios. And how about one dog? The dog is dirty. El perro está sucio. Muy bien. I'm bored. Yo estoy aburrido. I'm very bored. Yo estoy muy aburrido. Muy is very. Very important word. Una palabra muy importante. We are bored. Nosotros estamos aburridos. We are bored with the lesson. Nosotros estamos aburridos con la lección. Con is with. Another important preposition. With. It's con. Not con. It's not con. It's con. Muy bien. The girls are bored with the movie. Las chicas están aburridas con la película. The guys are bored with the book. Los hombres están aburridos con el libro. All of the students are tired. Todos los estudiantes están cansados. You and I are tired too. You and I are tired also. Tú y yo estamos cansados también. También is also, or too, as in T-O-O, also. También. You and I are ready. Tú y yo estamos listos. The beans are ready. Los frijoles están listos. Los frijoles están listos. Very important sentence. Okay, here's a longer one. You and I are ready, but Silvia and Roberto are not ready. Tú y yo estamos listos, pero Silvia y Roberto no están listos. That word pero is the conjunction but. B-U-T, but. Very important word. Una palabra muy importante. It is one that often divides a sentence into two parts. And those two parts are, which are called clauses, usually have their own, they each have their own subject and a verb. Like for example, John needs my help, but I am really tired. Or I want to go running, but it is raining outside. The word is pero. Not to be confused with perro, which is a dog. Perro, the double R. If you have trouble rolling your R's, don't worry about it. It's something that you can improve. Sometimes people are not able to make certain sounds, and therefore they hesitate in their speaking with other people, perhaps a little insecure about their inability to say those words. So I want to encourage you to continue speaking and not to let something like that prevent you from engaging with someone. And anyway, if you absolutely feel you cannot say it, then by all means, just say pero. I mean, that's not correct, but I mean, that's something, and you can improve it. However, having said that, let me just mention something else. Answer this question. What part of a bicycle do you spin around with your feet to make the bike go forward? That's right, they're called pedals. And if you can say pedal, then there's no reason that you cannot say pero. They sound almost identical. What's happening is your tongue, to make this sound, is just bouncing off of the roof of your mouth. It's just that you're not used to making that motion with your tongue in order to express the letter R, because you don't associate the R with that motion of your tongue. Okay? But you make this sound more than perhaps 100 times a day as you say words like little and water and pedal and hospital. And as for the double R, it can be learned. It takes some time and practice, but I guarantee if you were born in Mexico City, you'd have no problems with it. Okay, let's continue. Roberto y Silvia aren't ready because they're not prepared. Roberto y Silvia no están listos porque no están preparados. Bueno, no están preparados. Now I'm saying por qué. It means because. And it's another key word that will frequently divide sentences into two separate clauses. They are not ready and they are not prepared. And since we know what the word because means, we know that their lack of preparation is the cause or the reason for their lack of readiness. Por qué means because. Notice in the first part of that sentence that I mentioned Roberto y Silvia by name, but I didn't mention their names in the second part. In fact, I didn't say or write their names, nor did I even say ellos, which means they. There's no subject pronoun at all in the second part. But I did say están, and so the implication of this verb están is that I'm saying they are, and I can do that. Roberto y Silvia are still the subject, and they will continue to be the subject until someone changes the subject. This is not an option in English. At the very least, in English, you have to say they if you're not going to say the names of the people that you're talking about. But in Spanish, it's not necessary to repeat the subject or even the pronoun if everyone listening already knows who the subject is. We'll talk more about that later. But anyway, that's enough for now. Thank you for consistently repeating all these sentences if in fact you are doing so. The way to say thank you for is gracias por repetir las oraciones. In the next video, we'll talk about how to put questions together using ESTAR, and we'll begin to go back and forth between questions and answers. Gracias amigos, hasta luego.